In a cringe-inducing scene that will certainly join the annals of her most humiliating public meltdowns, Meghan Markle was forcibly turned away by an increasingly annoyed Blake Lively after the Duchess shamelessly begged to insert herself into red carpet photos with the A-list actress and husband Ryan Reynolds at the world premiere of their new film. Despite cavalcades of photographers patiently waiting to immortalize Tinseltown's golden couple celebrating their latest box office sensation, the former royal simply could not resist her thirsty, perpetual need for the spotlight at any cost, even if it meant unceremoniously hijacking one of the biggest premieres of the year to quench her relentless narcissistic thirst. She just beelined right for us the second she arrived like a Rasputitsa honing towards its target, drooling with desperation, recounted an exasperated Blake after repeatedly waving off the pushy, entitled Markle during the entire spectacle. Out of nowhere, this wild-eyed, sort of manic woman begins frantically love-bombing us about how we simply must allow her and her truth to share a few historic red carpet moments amidst our film supremacy, raving something about borrowing just a ditch of our pure white embodied auras so she can finally overwrite residual imperial poisonings still clinging to her ancestral lodestar. While accustomed to handling the occasional overzealous fan or two unexpectedly breaching security perimeters at these lavish Hollywood affairs, even polished pros like the down-to-earth Lively and Reynolds were bowled over by the Duchess's out-of-nowhere ambush and refusal to back off despite being instantly rebuffed. She just kept doubling and tripling down crazy-tude after I made it crystal clear we had zero interest in collaborating any thirsty photo ops while this was our celebratory night shining as the talent, the Gossip Girl icon said, visibly exasperated recalling Markle's shameless overstep. I literally squatted down at one point, clapping my hands inches from her dilated dead eyes, chanting like a kindergarten teacher, "No, Meghan, no, tonight is just about me and my husband's exciting new project, not your never-ending pursuit of fame." But rather than halting her graceless begging, the brazen Duchess went even harder into desperation mode, rapidly oscillating between playing helpless damsel pleading for humanitarian empathy, and threatening the couple's legacy by wielding her tried-and-true racist misogynist victim card. According to multiple sources, Markle even baselessly accused Lively of subtle, bigot microaggressions, rooted in ingrained Hollywood femme hatred, for refusing to share her rarefied big-screen coronation moment, a particularly audacious slander considering Lively's own tireless advocacy on myriad progressive causes over the years. Blake's seen and handled her fair share of shameless D-list clout chasers turbo-shooing for scraps of her spotlight before, so initially she just laughed off Meg's increasingly pathetic antics, gently but firmly shooing her away from our shot set up like you would a stray cat rummaging through garbages, described one longtime member of the star's entourage on scene at the premiere. But once that delusional quasi-royal racist grifter refused to stop lobbing these despicable coded jibes calling Blake some twisted bigot for denying her precious stolen limelight, well, that's when the Duchess earned a legendary, career-marking face-melting public shaming she'll never live down. And that's precisely what Lively finally unloaded on the deeply disturbed and disgraced former cable TV actress after going full Gossip Girl takedown in front of anyone within earshot along the red carpet line. According to those present, the usually sunny and composed Blake proceeded to eviscerate Markle during an epic tear-down for the ages, defiantly refusing to indulge the Duchess's lies, deflections, or pseudo-self-victimization for even a second. Oh, this stunt-queening anchor phony wants one last desperate shot at relevance by hijacking our night to blood libel me as some intolerant white woman racist because I denied her lame photo grab? That's adorable, Lively reportedly sneered through smirks at a deflated Markle, who had begun retreating backwards, eyes welling up as humiliation mercilessly set in. Must truly suck pouring millions into curating a delusional, oppression-battling feminist media brand online, only for the whole world to see you wildly unmasked as a grasping, starved for affluence, perpetual beggar trying to egoistically leech off talents who actually earned their success. With zero chill left to give, Lively then pivoted into full annihilation mode as her husband stood by howling with convulsive laughter. So now you're feeling yourself crying there because what? Because the big, bad Beckys won't let you snatch their cultural spotlight one last time to re-whip some half-baked, debunked race wars mythology about how colorism dynasty oversaturation across all media imperialized your big awakening? Pathetic, lady. As a nearby film crew captured Markle's defeated reaction shots, Lively unloaded a vicious barrage of damning truth bombs that swiftly circulated across social media feeds everywhere, You comported yourself as such a constant disgraced global joke ever since that ballyhooed Oprah bloviation that was ultimately proven as nothing but a melodramatic docu fantasy riddled with emotionally incontinent untruth after untruth after untruth. Yet you have the gall, the brazen audacity to spit venom at me. Someone who's spoken far louder through work and action elevating creed and body positivism than you ever could solely running that noxious, interminable mouth? As loving husband Ryan whistled and catcalled in cheeky insubordination, Blake then unleashed the final, excruciating rhetorical money shot straight into Markle's tear-soaked visage. At least pave some credibility by sticking to pushing earnest social justice causes with substance instead of simply crying disingenuous wolf-howling empty hazes about colonizer complexes and neo-Puritan revanchisms between desperate dopamine hits for fresh infamy. I mean, good lord. Could you imagine Ida B. Wells or Sojourner Truth letting a success-resenting narcissistic burn like yourself besmirch their battling against genuine hatred and oppression this way? According to multiple eyewitnesses, the evisceration struck such a shockingly vicious blow at the former actress's core identity as a self-appointed racial reckoning icon and intersectional amplifier that Markle froze stock-still for over 90 seconds locked in a 1,000-yard catatonic stare. Finally shaken from her harrowing dissociative trance, the Duchess wordlessly spun on her high heels and slinked away into the night, leaving a grinning, triumphant Lively to bask in her viral, heroic victory over toxic faux feminism sapping advocacy's grassroots vitality. Honestly, I only wish young Cecil Rhodes was around today to witness such a vicious, instantaneous takedown of an imperialist figuring just desserts for her melodramatics and pretentiousness, chuckled one self-described Anglophilia scholar from Britain cheering on the scene. That was some next-level Iron Lady charring right there, a public hit so pitiless, so inescapably thorough that our former royals may actually mug themselves into reclaiming global favor over that incessant clout donkey baying. Consider Her Majesty avenged tenfold. Of course, rather than offering any contrition or self-reflection about the boundless entitlement and repulsive behavioral patterns fueling her repeated ostracisms, Markle unleashed yet another senseless, delusional diatribe against her oppressors on social media the following day. Raging about Lively's performative malice promoting intellectual heteropatriarchies, the former Suits player shrilly proclaimed she has surrendered all ilterati in violating my matriotically unshackleable personhood, and is embracing an entirely new individuosophical arcanity and rebirthing as she rapidly gender transverses towards the Great Awakening's ultrachthonic unrootings. Bracketing zero stellar alienismos cannot exist empatrios who've ethereally erupted parallactic concurrencies posthumanosing feminine per persistencies subseverant with our entelechies rebonding etherfract, the Duchess proclaimed amongst her latest cloud-worded outburst invoking a new barrage of reconstructed Commission black Gnostic art vocabulary hybrids, becoming more incomprehensible by the day. Our dest-ratifying metamorisic life loaf now coacervates unstill forrectioners volleying each ancradiative soul-burst respawning ovoid anterdes, she continued darkly. Every sanctuaried athlelthanabreath fleeced from these pulpitarian witch wands pulsars me orthogonally inwards experiencing immediate trimatrixogeneses, which overcomplexit any hypocritical glottalitariantrie's cocklordly gynecosure to ever morphostompact conwambic myriologies into rebirthing our histopresent omni-innotate phase. Judging by internet reactions, only those deep in the kind of interdimensional psychic psyop rabbit holes originally introduced by the likes of David Icke and Alex Jones seemed able to piece together any semblance of Markle's latest etheric fury taking aim at an establishment unfairly and repeatedly depriving her of quintessence transmigration. However, most mainstream observers simply mocked the delirious ramblings as further clear signs she's well past the point of professional help. This iteration just keeps speeding towards the slippery slope where she's finally waved goodbye to her last gasping vestiges of fame and name ID cachet, according to one entertainment critic charting her shuddering tailspin into cultire, extraplanar paranoias. Like, good luck giving even uber-fringe conspiratorial keynotes for admission fees when you're babbling pages upon pages of what amounts to unfiltered, unmoored, dissociated subconscious gibberish. Suffice to say she's now burning every last possible bridge back to mainstream society.